You will definitely need to buy utensils in the house if the building is not offering that. And the cheapest way, I wouldn't say the best way, but I would say the cheapest way is to live in a vege where you share with people, so you get to even share the rent, which is much cheaper. Also,
We'll end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits. Don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds. People can change.
hey guys, hey everyone, how are you guys doing? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing fine. It's so amazing to have you. My name is Doris Bonitah. If you are new here, if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're yet to subscribe, what are you even waiting for? You should already subscribe. You're missing out. Anyway, y'all, so on this video, I want to share with you guys the living cost of a student, the things you need to know about studying abroad, the things that you need to put in place or have in mind when you're coming abroad to study, or when you're thinking about studying abroad. Number one is the accommodation. You need to know where you're going to stay. Number two is the school fees, of course, the amount. Is it paid per semester or is it paid per month? Because there are some universities where you pay per month and there are those that you pay per semester. What are the requirements if you require any language at all, like language proficiency certificate, for example? If it's English, if you require any language proficiency, or if it's German, if you require a certain German language. If you're definitely going to study in English speaking countries, you definitely need a language proficiency certificate. Most of the time they would ask for those IELTS certificate, and those you need to go and sit for the exams. And you also need to know the requirements, specific requirements of the university, and the specific requirement of the visa requirement, definitely the visa amount, the visa fee. If you require any visa fee, you need to also know that. And in the accommodation, you need to know if you're going to have everything in the apartment. You can live in an apartment like my house, or you could live, if you're coming to Germany, you could live in something called a WG. Is like you can have a room. It's like a whole building, but you share a kitchen and a bathroom. Sometimes you'll have a roommate, sometimes you'll just have your own small room, but you share the bathroom and the kitchen. You also need to know about insurance. What insurance are you going to use? Health insurance, that is, it's mandatory here in Germany to have health insurance. So you need to know the costs of it and which one you're going to take, because it's necessary for you to have that. So that's an extra cost. You need to care about transport. You also need to know if the university includes transport in the card or not, because some don't. For instance, in my university, we could only use the card, the student card, to travel on the weekends and the holiday. So that meant I had to look for another alternative. Luckily, we have now an offer for tickets, but usually they have offers for students to get the semester ticket, which costs much lesser and cheaper than normal people. What normal people, by normal people, I mean what other people who are not students pay. So there are those offers. You also need to know those things. And then you also need to know if like how you're going to fund yourself. Of course, those are important things. Yeah, you need to have grocery money, of course, after you move here. So I'm randomly just mentioning the costs, the things that you will need to put in mind concerning money when you live abroad. If you're coming to winter, of course, you need some winter clothes and stuff like that. Know, of course, if the room you are getting will come with a bed or not. You will definitely need to buy utensils in the house if the building is not offering that. And the cheapest way, I wouldn't say the best way, but I would say the cheapest way is to live in a vege where you share with people, so you get to even share the rent, which is much cheaper. Also, what I've noticed that it's not easy to get a house here. The housing is not as easy as it is, for example, in Kenya. For those in Kenya, I can only speak for Kenyans because I'm Kenyan and I know how the system of finding a house in Nairobi looks like, because I lived in Nairobi before I came here. So we don't find houses the way we find them in Kenya. You just walk in a building, you see a poster saying the number and you're like calling the number and all that. You need to apply for it. And sometimes you even need recommendation here for you to get a house. So it's not just for students or for foreign people, but also for other people. I remember when we were looking for my house, well, when my host mom was looking for my house and her house, because we moved out of where we were living and we moved separately, because in her house, in the other house, I was living in the basement, which was serving as a guest house, as a guest room. And then when we moved to another area, now they had to find a house for me where I can get to have my own privacy, like, live alone and just go to their house whenever I want. So I can sleep in their house and I can also sleep in my house, just how I prefer it. So yes, she told me it was so, like, she was surprised at how fast she got the house, and I was just like, yeah, that's God's favor. I'm here, so of course everything works out. Yes, because of my presence, my father has to fight for his daughter. So yes, it takes the hand of God, it takes the grace of God to find a house, leave alone a good house. It takes the hand of God, the favor of God to find a house. So those are some of the things that you need to be aware of. Yes, and in terms of transport, you also need to know that there are regional transport ticket and there are the entire Deutschland transport ticket, and they all cost differently. Thankfully, now we have an offer of the 49 euro ticket where you can use the ticket to travel across Deutschland, anywhere in Deutschland, with that ticket without paying in any state. You can use the same ticket, just one ticket, and you pay monthly 49 euros. And for the students, if you can prove that you're a student or an Ausbildender or an FSJler, I don't know about au pairs, probably also au pairs, I'm not sure, but I know that FSJlers, Ausbildenders, and university students can go and prove that they are students there, and they can be given at 29 euros. So that's 20 euros cheaper. That's one thing I like about being a student here. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've I don't know, the video has done something to you. I don't know what's supposed to do to you, but yeah, I'm just basically sharing with you the information. So yeah, have a blessed time, and God loves you. Don't quit on your relationship with God. He loves you, he sees you, and he cares for you, and he cares about your relationship with him. Have a blessed time. Bye.